This week in disc golf brought blood on the course, Tatar shows she's human, and player drama all ready for disc golf's first major, the Champions Cup, and so much more. What's going on? I'm Swiss Cheese with the Disc Golf World, and you're watching This Week in Disc Golf. The Open at Austin was the tournament's first time being an Elite Series event. Players were critical of the layout of the course, it being an uncontested course, meaning never played, and the tour breaking PDGA rule that an event needs to be established for 2 years before it's an A-Series tournament. Something that the 2024 Worlds location also has in common with this event. Zero fucks Paul Mcbeth, my second favorite Paul, by the way. Mcbeth let those six claw fly for the second week in a row, being critical of the course layout, specifically the last two holes in his post-round interview after day one. He pretty much played hole 17 on protest the remaining 2 rounds, finding any unconventional line possible. He delivered on his promise to jump putt off the tee on day 2, and on day 3 for his second throw, asked the gallery to move to attempt a skip shot through an unintentional gap, over OB, finally to skip through guardian trees for the giant middle finger birdie look. Yeah, he missed the putt. Still awesome. Though I always appreciated Paul's skill, I admit I was not a rooting fan, but Zero Fucks Paul is great and one I can get behind. It doesn't stop there. Germ said the course was terrible. Greg Barsby tweeted his thoughts on the Open at Austin, being critical of the course and the rules adjustments for the tour, where other pros chirped in also. Good news for the DGPT, many have forgotten this criticism. Bad news, it was only because Eagle sniped the cameraman with a grenade on hole 4 on day 2. We were a teabag finish away from a cod clip, guys. Just look at this thing. You just can't stop but watching that clip on repeat. I'm saying that was some epic shit. Wish him the best of luck for a speedy recovery. Staff safety needs to be more of a priority moving forward for the DGPT. Luckily for the tour, the final day brought plenty of drama and the most tightly contested race ever, topping last week's record-setting Waco event. E.T. Phone's home fingers, Gannon Buhr, won the tournament from Chase Card, finishing the round 10 down and birdied 26 of the 54 holes over the weekend. Gannon might look as shaky as a newborn giraffe when not throwing, but already is a proven winner at his age. He became the 4th MPO player to win a silver, elite, and major champion. The only other 3 are single-name players in the sport: Paul, Ricky, Dickerson. And for those who still tracking, Prodigy did release 2 commemorative discs to celebrate Gannon's win and to shut up all them haters. Fan favorite and overall solid dude Simon Lizotte finished strong and took second in the tournament. Calvin Heimberg, and your future 2023 Player of the Year winner, got a share of 3rd place, his 3rd podium finish on the season already. Yeah, he looks like a shaggy stunt double, but he is the most consistent disc golfer out there right now. Park's Beer Softball League home run king and first baseman of the Master Batters, James Proctor, also took a share of 3rd, his best finish on an already solid start of the 2023 season. Now, I know many will say James plays his best disc golf west of the Mississippi, but with an open bag, I feel he'll have a stronger year than past seasons. The other big news from the tournament, Ricky Wysocki did not finish the tournament, his first one back from an injury due to his hand. Ricky did say in a tweet that he would not return again until he was 100%. The biggest shocker on the FPO side was the fall from grace of Kristen Tatar, who after a poor final round finished tied for 5th at the tournament. This was her first time since July 2021 that she did not finish in the top 3 at an elite event. And though the FPO field might take a giant breath of relief at the fact that Tatar is human, there are 16-month-old Estonian babies who are dealing with the emotions of national hero Tatar not being in the top 3 for the first time in their lifetimes. Show some respect, people. Paige Pierce broke her own streak, winning the Open at Austin, her first tournament win in 8 months, breaking her longest win drought in her career. Paige shot .994 event rating. Now, many have hinted that Paige no longer has the drive to win, but I love Hippie Paige and want to go on the record of saying it. She will still be a major player in the FPO moving forward. With each winner getting a custom Stetson hats, which they fully wore on display, they each look like city slicker teenage kids at your standard summer camp dude ranch. But this trophy is still better than the World's Trophy of last year and is consistently on display, unlike other thrown trophies that we've seen in the past. Katrina Allen came back from a +7 after day 1 to finish 3 under for the tournament, giving her a second place finish. Katrina had a busy week, also being pictured for a Vikings blog post post doing the standard Vikings fan pose of what was Cousins thinking there. Man, I always felt something off with Allen. It turns out she's just part of Skull Nation. Jessica Weiss and Missy Gannon took a share of the third place finish. Jessica's forehand was on display much of the tournament, and Missy did not disappoint off the tee or on the putting green. Well, that wraps up tournament coverage. Let's jump into the latest drama-filled debate. Andrew Presnell shared his thoughts on the first major of the year, the Champions Cup registration. In the tweet, he mentioned 16 touring pros who are currently on the wait list of the tournament. You got some absolute big-name bangers on this list. KJ, James Conrad, Ezra Adderhold, and Garrett Gurthey, just to name a few. To say the least, it got some interaction from several players, including Drew Gibson, Zach Melton, Ezra, and Andrew. Now, the argument is that there should be reserved spots for pros, which I can support, but it is currently not in place. Should it be? Absolutely. I can also get behind that sponsors of these players should assist in registering its players and not leave it up to the players themselves. I want the best competition for a major at all times, but having a 2-week window to register based on your ratings, full knowing it's your responsibility to register if you want to play, that's on you. Now, what I see on this list is that some wanted to register but didn't. I'm looking at you, Luke White and James Jones. Other fast-hitting news, boss Nate Doss released current team standings, which everyone wants to discuss dynamic being on the bottom of the list, despite the contracts given 2 off-seasons ago to Ricky Wysocki and Kona Panis. But without Ricky playing, it's a moot point in my opinion. Once he comes back, those numbers will improve. More shocking on that list is what DGA has done with a 4th place ranking. With a solid addition of Cole Radalin, who according to the PDGA is finna be a problem. The problem is that tweet in general. I don't know, feels icky. Even if you're going with the southern slang angle, still kind of feels gross. This week, we have the Innova Open at the Texas State Championship. Yeah, it sounds weird to me also and is definitely a mouthful. With Ricky already saying he's not playing, the 6-time champ has left the field open, but Calvin's just going to continue to dominate and walk through that door. It will be interesting to see what Tatar's response will be for this tournament. Is it domination or continuation of her final round? I suspect a slightly surprise winner, though, in Owen Scoogans or my heart pick, Holland Hanley. Cat Merch announced a new family member at Puppy Bubbles. Paul also just announced a partnership with White Sox pitcher Dylan Cease to design a destination course in Florida. And lastly, this is the real reason why Gannon Burr will sign with Discmania this offseason. Hope you enjoyed this week in disc golf. Like, share with other friends, and make sure you subscribe.